What's up, everyone? I hope you had a great new comic book day. I picked up 9 issues this week for January 27th, 2021. So today I'm going to be ranking and reviewing those 9 issues. So keep watching this video to see who claims number 1. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. AR Comics here, and today I'm going to be ranking and reviewing my top 9 issues this week for New Comic Book Day, January 27th, 2021. But before I get started on this, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for all the support. We just hit 3,000 subscribers the other day, and that is incredible to me. Thank you guys so much. And if you do want to join this growing community, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this week's top 9 list. So if you guys remember from my last week's video, I talked about how that was probably one of the hardest lists I had to put together in a very long time. I totally take that back. This was hands down the hardest list I've had to put together, I think, since making these top 10 videos. I loved all of these books so much, except the one that came in 9th place. I really didn't like that one, but I'll get into that soon. But the rest of them, they all could have easily been a top 5, top 3 book, and some of those could have been interchangeable for number 1. But I'm pretty happy with this list. The only issue that I forgot to pick up this week was that Batman Black and White issue number 2. I don't know what happened, totally forgot about it, and that's how I ended up with 9 issues this week. I also didn't get any DC Future State. I'm really happy with that decision. I saw them, and I just thought, you know what? I'm not giving DC any more money. And maybe that's how I forgot about the Batman Black and White. But anyway, let's get started on this list. We have today coming in at number 9. We Only Find Them When They're Dead, number 5. This is cover A. And this is it. This is the last issue I'm picking up for this series. I gave it 5 issues, which is more than I typically do. I usually give it to the 3 or 4 mark. But if you've been reading this series, you do know that it did pick up pretty fast after it started off a little slow. We finally got to see a god, and it's like, you know what? After that 4th issue, we kind of got brought back to square one, and I didn't like this one at all. Maybe it's the same way I treat the Marvel issues. I'm not a huge fan of the space stuff. I don't really like the Marvel cosmic stuff. And I mean, this is in space. Maybe subconsciously I'm thinking the same thing, but I just did not like this issue. It kind of goes back in time a little bit. We get to see some flashbacks, and honestly, I don't even remember a lot of these characters' names. They're so forgettable. The ship, that's the only thing I remember, the Vihan 2 or whatever that is. I don't know what it is about this series. It's just moving really slow. Nothing's really progressing, and I'm kind of feeling the same way what Al Ewing is doing to the Immortal Hulk run right now. It's just so slow. It's kind of more on the boring side, and I'm not really enjoying it. But Immortal Hulk is so deep that I'm obviously not dropping this one. But this one is definitely coming off my list. I just did not enjoy this issue. I gotta say, the artwork is still incredible. I love the pages. I love just the different color schemes they have going on with it all. But for all of those reasons, this series is just too slow for me right now, and I'm just not enjoying it. I'm gonna be dropping it. Coming in at number 9. And now we have coming in at number 8, we've got Spawn 314. This is cover A, and I finally decided to give Spawn a shot. It's still like the only issue that's $2.99 a month, and this is a brand new arc. So I thought, you know, maybe it is a good jumping on point. In my opinion, it's definitely not. I felt very lost. They had characters in there as Monolith. I think the Omega Spawn was in there too, and it's the events that just happened in the latest arc. I guess Spawn used all of his powers or something, and now he's very weakened, and that's how he got captured, and a whole bunch of other stuff happened from there. I can't really get into too much detail about my real opinion on the story, because as I was saying, I don't think it's a good jumping on point. I felt a little lost, but what I can talk about is how great the artwork is, how great the dialogue itself is, and for those reasons, I will continue picking up Spawn. I thought it all was extremely well done. So you kind of have all the character dialogue going on, but at the same time, we kind of have text bubbles as if it's back in the day with some of the Silver and Golden Age books, where it has a little description of what's going on in the actual scene itself. And I really like that about this, because we still have full color splash pages of artwork, and it's just so gorgeous. And there's a little bit of dialogue that just progresses the story, but I really like those text bubbles that kind of describe what's going on in the background. And just based off this one solo issue of Spawn that I've read, I do think it's very well done. As I was saying, not a great jumping on point. I felt very lost, But I am going to continue on with this because for all those reasons, I did think it was extremely well done. You should give Spawn a shot. A lot of guys were commenting in the last video when I was talking about how I think I am going to give Spawn a shot. They said 300 is the great jumping on point. That's the one you really want to start off with. Obviously, you should read all of Spawn so you really know what's going on. But as far as this series goes right now, I'm being told that 300 is the great jumping on point for it. But if you did read this, let me know down low in the comment section what you thought about it. Let me know, maybe fill me in on some of the stuff that I missed out on, because I did really like what was going on in this one. Just felt a little bit lost, but coming in at number 8. And now we've got coming in at number 7, Captain Marvel, number 25. This is cover A, and I thought this issue was really well done. Overall, I didn't like the last arc. I didn't really like a lot of the arcs in this series. I think this one's pretty good so far, but this is probably one of the better issues that I've read from this series in quite a while. So if you are reading this series, you know this is Ove, this is Namor's son, who's pretty much the main villain of this arc right now. And this issue, we got to see a whole backstory of him. Basically, his upbringing, how he kind of started off as this cute little kid, and then he turned into who he is right now. He's got a mix of his mom and obviously his dad, so he takes traits from both sides. And we just get to see that the whole time. The Enchantress, who his mom is explaining all of this to Captain Marvel because she thinks that she can maybe persuade her to get her son to not fall through with what he's trying to do. And honestly, that was pretty much the entire issue. It was just like a nice backstory on Ove. So that kind of makes me think too. I know a lot of the issues in this series right now that have first appearances aren't really major first appearances. The big one is pretty much Ripley Ryan, who turns into Star. But maybe we are going to see Ove a lot more. They gave him a backstory. They gave him everything. He's got a future plan. So maybe picking up the first appearance. It's not this issue. I think it was 2 issues ago, maybe 3 issues ago. It might be worth picking up. If you were reading this series, let me know what you think about it. But coming in at number 7. And now we've got coming in at number 6, The Amazing Spider-Man, number 58. This is cover A, and this is also a brand new arc. Call me crazy, but I actually thought this issue was very well done, and I think we do have a brand new artist on this series as well right now, so let me know down low if I'm wrong with that, but I think so. So with this issue, the only problem I had with it is I felt like there was a lot going on. So Wilson Fisk is still in it. He's doing his thing. He's got his own little secret prerogative. We've got Kindred still locked away in his little ice box. Norman Osborn is still there. He's trying to convince Spider-Man that Wilson's up to something crazy. And now we also brought in Martin Lee. He just entered the picture. He's got his demons. You know, he's Mr. Negative. So we've kind of got 3 different main plots going on right now. At least that's what it felt like with this issue. So reading it, it just felt kind of, there was a lot happening at once. But overall, I thought Nick Spencer did a great job on it. I know I dog on him a lot with the things that he does with this series. But, you know, credit's due when it's earned. I think he did a great job with this one. So coming in at number 6. And now we're down to the top 5 issues of the week. Coming in at number 5, we have Something is Killing the Children, number 14. This is cover A. And as always, I love this issue. I love this series. I think they did a great job with it. Werther Dell'Edera is doing a great job in the artwork as well. The only problem I'm having with this series so far, as I'm starting to realize it over the course of the last maybe 5-6 issues, is they're having a hard time balancing between action and just plot-driven issues. So these last few have pretty much all been completely plot-driven. They're really progressing the story, developing some of these characters, and I felt the same way about this one, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes, you know, I want to see a little bit of action, I want to see a little bit of plot, and we can go from there. But these last few have been very plot-driven, but we're really seeing a lot happen with this series, and they're really expanding on what's really going on with House Slaughter, the monsters, and the town itself. I don't really want to spoil a lot going on in this issue because I feel like if I talk about it, it's going to give way too much away, but we do get to see a little bit of how Erica was trained at House Slaughter, and now she's teaching what she learned to the 2 little kids that she's with. So let me know down below what you thought about that. I'm still absolutely loving Something is Killing the Children. It's one of my favorite series from Boom Studios right now, coming in at number 5. And next up, coming in at number 4, we have a brand new series. We have Dead End Kids, Suburban Job, number 1. This is cover A. This is a new series by Source Point Press, written by Frank Gogol. Seems like a super nice guy. I talk to him on Instagram every once in a while, and if you have been following my videos, you know that I'm trying to do some more weekly content for you guys. I want to get live streams going. So every Friday or Saturday, it's going to be coming up. It's not ready yet, but I'm going to be having people on. They're going to be talking about themselves, pretty much, you know, talking about comics, how they got started, and he's actually one of the guys that I talked with. He's really excited to come on the channel and pretty much, talk about his series and how he got started with comic books. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to have a lot more info. But as far as this issue goes, I totally didn't even expect to pick it up. I forgot to pre-order it. So I hit up my local comic book shop, New World Comics up in Oklahoma City, and they said they had an extra copy. They put it away for me. So thank you guys very much. Make sure you go check them out if you're ever in Oklahoma. So with this issue, it's kind of like the last Dead End Kids series that came out. This one, we've got 3 main characters, and we kind of see them go about their day-to-day business. They've all got their own little issues, and then they all come together kind of towards the end of the issue, and something major happens, which is going to lead into the rest of the series. I don't want to give it away too much, but he's done a very good job writing this story just for a single issue. And the one thing I do really like about Frank Gogel's series is that while they are pretty much all mini-series, I think they're all 3 issues each, he does a very good job with pacing. And you guys already know me, I don't like putting money in these small little mini runs, but he's done a great job with this one. Go support him. Make sure you check out Dead End Kids. And now we're down to the top 3 issues of the week. Coming in at number 3, we have Strange Academy, number 7. This is cover A, and damn, this was an issue. I loved every single thing about this issue. This was a brand new arc. As I was talking about my previews video that comes out every Sunday, this was definitely not a good jumping on point. This is something you need to read from the beginning. It's only 7 issues deep. I know they're definitely more on the expensive side right now, but you could probably find it, I think, on Marvel Unlimited. This is something you definitely need to be reading, though, in my opinion. This issue picked up right where the last one left off, and I'm not going to get into too much detail because if I really explain anything with this series right now, it's going to be a massive spoiler. But the main character, Emily Bright, a lot of the focus now shifts to her, and it turns out she is extremely powerful. And I definitely want to talk about this with you guys, but we're going to talk about it down low in the comment section because I don't want to spoil this one for those of you who haven't read it yet. But seriously, this was a crazy issue. I love the artwork. Make sure you're reading Strange Academy. And now we've got coming in at number 2, Year Zero, number 3. This is cover A, and this was another series that I cannot recommend enough for everyone to read. I loved everything about this issue. So if you can recall from the last few issues, the first one, obviously we got introduced to all these characters. Number 2 developed the characters a little bit more, and now with this issue, they're pretty much all developed, but now we get to see a different aspect to these characters. So with the 4 different stories, shit has basically hit the fan worse than, a zombie apocalypse. It's more now self-personal problems, and we get to see how they all overcome it. All of these characters face some different type of adversity in this issue, and now we're going to see pretty much how they overcome it in the 4th issue. I think Benjamin Percy has done a great job with this series so far. The artwork is incredible as well, and this is something, please, you need to be reading. I'm loving everything about this series right now. Give Year Zero a shot. And here it is, my top issue of the week. Coming in at number 1, we have The Department of Truth, number 5. This is cover A. And at first, I really had a hard time picking which issue is going to be number 1. I thought it was going to be Year Zero. I thought it was going to be Strange Academy. And then I read this issue last, and I thought, there's no way this can't be number 1. So nothing huge happened in this issue, in my opinion. This is the end of the arc, though, and it's definitely something you don't want to miss out on. So if you were reading the rest of the series right now, we've got this other organization called the Black Hat. We don't really know anything about them, but they explain themselves a lot more in this issue. And we kind of see that they've actually been following Cole the entire time. This main character, Cole, apparently has some sort of massive importance to this actual series and both of these organizations together. And I think what really turned this into an incredible issue, like just a step above being a great issue, is that we got to see this Black Hat organization. But the thing about it is that now we're kind of thinking, who's the actual good organization? Because this whole time, the Department of Truth was trying to put off that they were the good ones and Black Hat was these bad people. But now we get to see the other side of things. And, as a reader, we're kind of sitting there like, damn, maybe they're not that bad. Maybe it's the Department of Truth. And this issue did exactly what this whole series is about so far. It's just trying to get you to think a little bit. They're trying to prove what's a lie, what's a truth. And reading this issue is exactly how I felt, as a reader. And I don't know. I love this issue. It's hands down my number one choice of the week. I thought it was an incredible read. And as I was saying, this was the end of the arc. So if you missed out on all the other issues, there probably is going to be some sort of trade paperback that comes out at some point. You do not want to miss out on this series. They've got a bunch of extra different prints right now. There is no reason you shouldn't be reading it. Coming in at number 1, The Department of Truth. So what'd you guys think? I honestly thought overall this was an incredible new comic book day. I thoroughly enjoyed all of the books I picked up, except We Only Find Them When They're Dead, number 5. I'm definitely going to be cutting that off from my pull list. But that issue aside, I felt like almost any of these issues could have claimed that number 1 spot. Well, pretty much from the top 5 list. They were all fantastic. I loved everything about it. But what was your favorite issue this week? Let me know down low in the comments section. I would love to talk about it with you guys. But thank you for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And thank you again for helping me hit 3,000 subscribers. I honestly thought I would stop making these videos a while ago. If you recall from one of my past videos, I talked about where I was going to at least do 100 videos and go from there. And I mean, I love making these videos for you guys. So thank you for enjoying the content. But now I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.